Hello, good morning. Good morning. Hi, everybody. So, good morning. Good morning. How are you guys doing? So, we are on 11th of August. We are on 11th of August. We are almost at the end of completing the series. Yes, let's go. Yes, yes, yes. That's the kind of energy that makes even me come online on time every day. Okay. I'm a night owl kind of a person. Despite which, seeing you guys and your energy, I make it a point that I wake up and I come to the class on time. No breakfast, nothing. I just wake up, freshen up, and then I come to the class. Usually 10:30, 10:45, 11 o'clock is when my day starts. Heavy rain in Kerala. Yesterday it was raining in Hyderabad. Hyderabad, it's Bonal also. Last night it was a festival night. Okay, so we have actually 5 classes that are left out, and the plan is 2 classes of books and authors, 1 class of reports and indices. Because reports and indices theory part we did it in Astra series, right? So, us in this covered sessions we are supposed to practice the questions. So, reports and indices questions, and 1 or 2 classes for us to practice all the static GK questions of GD papers. Let us see how many questions we can solve, and based on that we can decide. Okay, so we are almost at the point of completing the entire static GK. Good morning. Before you start, will you conduct marathon for the 3 sciences? No, sciences I'm not going to touch. Okay, so that's the update, and let us start. Today we are talking about books and authors, and there is something that I want to show you first. Okay, I want to show you the previous questions, the original PYQs, and I want to tell you the difference, the styles of questions that they are asking, so that you will understand how to study the topic of books and authors. Then I will tell you what is the kind of notes that will be given to you, right? So let me share my screen and let me show you the questions that they are asking. Okay, my screen I hope is visible to you now. Yes, please see this. These are the PYQs of books and authors that are given in 2025. Okay, so this is CGL question. See, consider the following statements about the Adventures of Kaka Babu, Volume 1 by Sunil Gangopadhyaya. And this book gives you certain types of statements. It's a Bengali adventure novel featuring a detective. It's a political satire, and it's an autobiography. So they are asking you not just the book name and the author name, they're asking you what is the idea of the book, the basic central idea. Okay, then there is one more question: who wrote the novel Chahela Ray? And then which of the following books or which of the following best describes the theme of the book Why Bharat Matters? So they are definitely asking you either about the what is the theme of the book. See, one more question: which of the following best describes the book Arranged Marriage by Chitra Banerjee Divakaruni, sorry. So they are asking you what is the theme of the book. Okay, then what about the author profile? For example, consider the following statements about Geeta Upad. She is a Hindi writer from Assam. She translated the diary of Anne Frank into Indian languages. Okay, now again, who wrote Indica, a deep natural history of the subcontinent? Who wrote it? So, all in all, they are asking you either directly, these are all direct questions. See, who wrote An Era of Darkness of British Empire? Who wrote White Tiger, the winner of 2008 Man Booker Prize? Again, who is the author of the book? Again, see this. What is the primary focus of Peter Frankopan's The Silk Roads? Next, again, what is the primary literary significance of the book? Bonkers. So they are asking you either what is the theme of the book, or they are asking you what is the book about. So both types of questions are being asked in the exams. So when you are picking up the topic of books and authors, so okay, you have to prepare according to the examination that you are aiming for. For example, if you are planning for, if your aim is CGL exams or CPO exams or if it is a phase grad exam, that is gradation level exams, your preparation is different. If your plan is for CHSL exams or CHT exams or steno exam or MTS exam, your plan has to be different. In fact, steno falls somewhere in the middle. Your plan has to be different. If you are preparing for CGL, CPOs, etc., you need to have an idea of the theme of the book also. Theme also, this is mandatory. You need to know the theme of the book also. If you are preparing for CHSL, CHT, Steno, MTS alone, here book, author, this is enough. And if you take a note at, or if you take a look at the questions properly, more or less they are asking you questions of those books with good awards. Okay, for example, the books with, it could be Booker Prize, or it could be some literary award, okay, some lit festival award or Pulitzer Prize. So usually they are asking you books where there are certain awards that are there. So what is our approach? What is the kind of notes that I'm gonna give you? What are we doing? See, the topic of books and authors, we are gonna do it in two classes. First class today will be a 1 hour session which I'm gonna do completely on whiteboard. Okay, this part that I'm gonna talk about, this is whiteboard. So in this class, I will talk to you about the most repeated authors, where I will take up the author profile and I will tell you this is the author, this is what they have written, this is their award, etc. And we will take up certain most frequently repeated books also. We will take up few books, but I'll not go into exhaustive details of the books. Rather, I will spend my time on talking to you about 13 most repeated authors. Okay, I'll talk about the most repeated authors and I'll give you the list of their works. So for your study, what am I going to give you? See, on Telegram, as a part of free resource, I am going to give you two different PDFs. PDF number one is this. PDF number one looks like this. This list contains all the list of books asked in 2025. Okay, it's an exhaustive list of every single book that was asked in the papers of 2025. 148 books. So this list I will give you. Okay, so the no, it's not the notes part. I will give you the plain list. Let me show you the list once. Okay, where is the list? This is the notes. Okay, so basically there is a complete list. There is a complete list of books, book names. The list also contains authors' names. The list also contains awards names. So first thing, I will give you this list. The second thing is I will give you Q&A format, that is question explanation format of the questions that are framed on books and authors. This Q&A format document I will give you. So today after the class, we will post these two documents in the next 30 hours. Like by 11 o'clock AM, we will post these two documents. Today you take time and you revise everything. Tomorrow we will do as many practice questions as possible, and tomorrow I will give you the list of all PYQs that are there. Okay, so this is being given in, this will be given in Telegram for free. And in your static GK Kavach notes, I am giving you, first thing is I am giving you the notes. This is a notes where we are giving you the author profile, every author, their books that are written. This is the author profile of the most important authors. This is a short notes. Along with this, I am giving you an exhaustive notes also. This is a complete exhaustive notes where I have picked up every author, okay, every author, every book that is there, every book that is given in 2025, the detailed explanations of this. So if you are a part of, if you have enrolled in the Kavach notes, you stick to this notes. This is an exhaustive notes. This is a very big notes, right? It goes almost up to, if I'm not wrong, it goes up to 91 pages, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, it goes up to 91 pages, which contains awards, everything. This is more than enough, and please don't get afraid by looking at the size of the notes. Every notes, there are images that are involved. The image in a way reflects the overall scenarios of the day. Okay, so for example, if you take a look at the first book that is there, okay, let me take you to the first book. Adventures of Kaka Babu. So this basically, this is about the adventure trips of personality. So the image reflects the adventure trips. So there are a lot of images that are involved. We will try to improve these images as well, and we will give you this particular document, effective document that will be given to you. So clarity, let me give you a proper clarity again. I'm not yet looking at the comment section. Give me a minute, I'll come and I'll talk to you. For the topic of books and authors, we are doing two classes. In class 1, I will take up the most repeated authors and I will tell you their author's profile. And in class number 2, we are practicing questions. And on Telegram, as a part of free material, one, I am giving you list of books, list of authors that were asked in 2025, and I am giving you questions document, questions formatted document. I am going to give you these two things. And in Kavach series, one, the list is anyways there, and you will be given exhaustive notes, proper notes on the list of all the books etc. that is given, and a proper author profile notes will also be given to you. A proper author profile notes will also be given to you, right? So this is what I'm going to give you, and this is our plan for books and authors. Now I'm in the comment section. Let me come to the comment section. This is what I want to share. Let me see. You only know Megasthenes. You should at least know Kalidas. Yes, it is beneficial for SSC JE also. It is beneficial for all SSC exams. Megasthenes, Kalidas, Varamir, Brihat Samhita. You should know at least these things, right? Kautilya, Kamandaks, Nitisara. Sir, any of these books I have read recently. I have recently read Why Bharat Matters of S. Jaishankar. If I'm not wrong, it is still there even in my office also. I wanted to read J. Sai Deepak's book, but India, that is Bharat, but I couldn't read it. India's way. There is one more book of Jaishankar. You want me to highlight the important notes of the Kavach short notes, huh? You want me to highlight the important points of Kavach short notes and give you? It's okay, chodo. Okay, so shall we start? Let's start talking about others. Okay, fine, I'll do that. But then thoda late hoga, theek hai? Like by 3 o'clock or something I can give you. 3 o'clock I can give you that part. Does the PDF contains recent books which received prizes or awards? That recent part we will do on current affairs. This is enough here. Itna bas hai. ठीक है? This is enough. Don't study more than that. Don't run beyond it. There should be a limitation of what we are studying. Okay, and these are the topics where it is difficult to find or come up with such limitations. So utna bas hai. So let's get started. ठीक है? So see. 1 second, we will start. The first author that I'm going to talk to you about is Arundhati Roy. Do you know Arundhati Roy? I mean, now don't say she's not my neighbor and all. Also, bachpan ka jokes hai. Don't tell that. So, are you aware of Arundhati Roy? Okay, on the short notes of Kavach, I will highlight the important points. Understandable. Fair enough. But I need some time to post it, okay? I will underline it. I don't have a problem. I will definitely do it. I need some time. So you know Arundhati Roy? Alright. So what do you know about Arundhati Roy? Let's have a brief idea and understanding of Arundhati Roy before we start. Arundhati Roy is the most repeated personality. First, highest repeated personality. We are going to start with Arundhati Roy. Yeah, okay. So basically Arundhati Roy in a way is a leftist author. Is a heavy leftist author. Usually she prefers to write, she prefers to speak about, See, she prefers to speak about subaltern schools or subaltern sections of the society. She is from JNU. She is a leftist author, and she prefers to talk about subaltern studies, and she considers herself, or she is an activist. Okay, so basically, if you see Arundhati Roy's work, more or less you will see her constantly criticizing any and every policy that is being taken up by any and every government. It doesn't matter which government she is talking about. Okay, she criticizes nuclear policy. She criticizes that India should not have any nuclear policy. She criticizes no, Narmada Dam project, and she criticizes that it is state that constantly oppresses Maoism. So she is a personality who is a heavily left lenient author. Alright, so this is a basic idea about this author. Now her one work that is very important in the exams point of view, work number 1 is God of Small Things. Okay, so God of Small Things is very important book. On this book she received Booker Prize also. Let me take one more color as well so that it's easy. Yeah, so on this work, she won Booker Prize. This Booker Prize she won in 1997. Booker Prize of 1997, and this lady is the first Indian to receive, first Indian woman, sorry, first Indian woman to receive Booker Prize. Okay, now God of Small Things, basically this book talks about caste. Okay, this book, actually this is a story that starts in the region of Kerala, where she takes up Syrian Christian society as a theme. She takes up Syrian Christian society as a theme, and she talks about how caste system is prevalent within Kerala society, how caste system is prevalent, and how basically regular human choices are influenced by the social order. Okay, so the book, the title, God of Small Things. In this, small things refers to the small human choices of day to day life, small human choices of day to day life, and how society influences these things, how rigid caste laws, allow caste, communism of Kerala, all these things are a part of the book, The God of Small Things. So, this is the first book of Arundhati Roy. The second book that we are talking here is War Talk. This was written in the periods of 2003. War Talk of 2003, this talks about two things. First is, this criticizes America's war on terror. There is a policy, or there is something which is called as America's war on terror, which happened after 9/11. Right? America's war on terror after 9/11. So she criticizes this America's war on terror, and she also criticizes India's religious policies. Okay, she speaks exhaustively about the Godra rights, of 2002. She criticizes, she says that India's communal religious policies, etc. She talks about all these things. This is a book that is War Talk. The next book that she talks about is Capitalism. Capitalism, a ghost story. A ghost story of 2014. So in this book, this lady talks about how corporate is wrong. Okay, so 2014 is a period where we see a change in the government in India, and we see the involvement of lot of capitalistic class, a new section of capitalism funding the elections. So her works in a way talks about how philanthrocapitalism works. That is how capitalistic society or capitalist people fund the elections, how NGOs come into picture, okay, how all these kind of corporate power works. So this is about capitalism, a ghost story. Okay, so she says that big businesses have captured the state. This is her writing. These are three most repeated books that were asked in the PYQs. Now the next important book that is there. Okay, so after this, the next book that is there is Ministry of Utmost Happiness. Ministry of Utmost Happiness, this is the next book. Okay, So Ministry of Nick or Utmost Happiness is an interesting book. So in this book there are multiple characters. For example, there is a transgender character. Okay, there is a transgender character in this book. Then there is a lady, and very interestingly, this lady is in love with two different people. One is a Kashmiri freedom fighter, and the other guy is an intelligence bureau officer. So using multiple characters, again, this lady tries to say that even in Jammu and Kashmir also, state is the oppressor. State is wrong, state is the oppressor, religious nationalism, military violence. She talks about all these kind of things. This is Ministry of Utmost Happiness. And along with that, there are a couple of other books also that they can ask you in the exams. Books such as End of Imagination. Okay, End of Imagination. Then there are books such as Cost of Living. Okay, so these kind of books they can ask you in the exam. Okay, now let me show you the notes that is there, and let me tell you what I want you to learn. Okay, this is the notes that I'm going to give you in the Kavach series. Now your notes, if you see properly, for every author you have a section called books asked in the PYQs. You have a section called other notable works. So for the books that are asked in the PYQs, these three, and the first book of other notable works, for this part, please understand the theme of the book also. Please understand the theme of the book also. I am explaining the same thing. Okay, for example, God of Small Things, you are talking about the community's rigid caste system, love laws, etc., and how human choices can change everything. Now, war talk, it is about Gujarat riots, America's war on terror, then capitalism, a ghost story. So, for the books that are till here, you know what the book is, and for this list, okay, for this extra notable works for this list, just to know book, author, this is enough. Restrict yourself till here. Okay, restrict yourself till here. Now, for example, let's say Salman Rushdie. I'll explain. Again, books asked in PYQs. This part, please study in detail. Okay, and the any awards, this part is important. Other notable works, this part, just you study the list. Okay, you just study the list. This is enough. This is how you can study the short notes. Okay, so this part I have given it, but this is not immediately necessary. I hope you understood how to study the notes, right? Clear? How are you going to study the notes? Are you clear? I'm opening all wrong notes today. Shema. Acha, book name. Okay. Okay, so clear? Any other doubts on how to study the notes? All right. Right. So the next author that I'm going to pick up, Salman Rushdie. The author that we are talking about is Salman Rushdie. Okay. Right. See, Salman Rushdie, this guy is a British Indian. Person of Indian origin, he is considered as a British author. He is a British Indian author. And how to attempt it? It's in the app. You can enroll and attempt it. Okay, he's a British Indian novelist. This guy is known for two different types of write-ups. One is political fiction. The other element that Salman Rushdie brings into write-ups or literature is he is known for magical realism. Now, what is magical realism? This guy usually picks up the realistic events. His core theme, this guy's core theme of writing, this is a real topic, and around this real topic, they build a lot of fictitious activities. They build a lot of fiction around the realistic activities, and the guys who write magical realism, they erase the line between the difference between realistic activities and fiction. So the core central theme, for example, if you take Salman Rushdie's book Midnight Children, okay, this is a very famous book, Midnight Children. So if you take the book of Midnight Children, the story of the book of Midnight Children is, it is a story of all those people who were born exactly on the date of 15th August 1947. On that midnight date, this guy thinks that, or the book goes around a central character named Salim. I read this book. This book is interesting. So the story goes around the character named Salim, and Salim identifies that there are around 1,000 plus children who were born on the midnight of 15th August 1947, and these people have a magical power. All these people are telepathically linked to each other, and then he starts describing about independent India, how partition happened, how wars happened, how emergency happened, through the life of all these characters. So this style of writing, where you are talking about real incidents, but you are giving magical powers, fictitious powers to the characters, and you are talking about real life incidents. This style of writing, you call it as magical realistic style of writing. Understood? So this is called magical realistic style of writing. Salman Rushdie is known for magical realistic style of writing. Yes, Starlights, I guess you are a very good reader of books. It looks like you read good number of books. So, Salman Rushdie, the aspects that you need to know is, see, why I am talking to you about author profile is, if you understand about author profile, if they ask you, for example, XYZ book written by this particular author talks about, and if you see 4 options, you will be able to eliminate and try to come up with a logical guess and understand, okay, Salman Rushdie is a person who talks about magical realism. So are there any myths, are there any magics in this writing? That option could be correct. So I want you to be equipped enough about these kind of things. So I am telling you a brief introduction about author profile also. Okay, so Salman Rushdie, he writes more of magical realism, or this is centered around political fiction. This is around political fiction. First book that we are talking about here is Midnight Children. Midnight's Children. Midnight's Children. This book also won Booker's Prize. This book got Booker Prize. Okay, and this book is about the children born on the midnight of 15th August 1947. All those people are being linked telepathically, and this talks about political fiction, that is post independence stories, post independent events of India. It talks about all those things such as post partition, wars, emergencies, all these kind of stories. It talks about all those things. This is Midnight Children. Clear? Now the next book of Salman Rushdie. The next book of Salman Rushdie, this is Moore's Last Sigh. This is also a PYQ book. Okay, so this book talks about, this book is a narration. Okay, so this book basically is a narration by a person named Moore. Moore is the central character of the story. Moore is a central character, central personality of the story, and Moore actually narrates the story of a Jewish family. Okay, he narrates the story of 4 generations, so that they narrate about how colonialism was there, and then what happened, how was communalism in India after independence, how were communal tensions that were there. Okay, and then how political activities happened. So basically, this story, Moore's Last Sigh, uses one family, and that one family's 4 generations are used, and around the 4 generations, or the story of the 4 generations, will help us to explain how India's political history changed. So it's more of historical, political fiction, and magical realism. Next important book is Shalimar's Crown. Shalimar the Clown. Clown as in Joker. Okay. Shalimar the Clown. This is a next book. This is very interesting. This story moves between Jammu and Kashmir and Los Angeles. The story starts in Los Angeles and the story narrates about a boy named Shalimar. Okay, Shalimar is from Kashmir. This guy is a this guy has a love story. This love story is a victim of political violence that is happening in Jammu and Kashmir. And that's how Shalimar the Clown takes up a personality who is from Kashmir, who ends up in Los Angeles, and it talks about Kashmiri conflict, it talks about global terroristic studies or global terrorism, etc. etc. So, this is Shalimar the Clown. So, everywhere you see Salman Rushdie's characters, they pick up one character, then there are certain special things that are associated to the character, and they talk about political activities. Okay. Now, the other book that is also asked in PYQs, the next book that was asked in PYQs is Ground Beneath the Feet. Ground Beneath the Feet is the next book. Okay. Now, there is an interesting book, there is an interesting myth within Greek mythology which is called as Orpheus myth. Okay. There is a myth in Greek mythology called as Orpheus myth. Don't remember this, but just for your interest, Orpheus myth is a Greek story where there is a musician. Musician plays so beautifully that animals, trees, rocks, everything starts to dance. Animals dance, trees starts to dance, stones start to dance. That kind of special magical musician is called as Orpheus or Orpheus myth. So the ground beneath the feet. This book is also about a write-up, or this book is also reimagination of Orpheus the myth, where in Indian mythology it talks about rock musicians. It talks about rock musicians. It brings parallels between Greek Orpheus myth and Indian rock musicians, etc. So this is all about music, etc., etc., that kind of a thing. Okay. So Booker Prize was awarded. Midnight Children was awarded Booker's Prize, and Midnight Children was also awarded Best of the Bookers also in 2008, which means it was the best book to have achieved Booker's Prize till date. Okay. So we studied about two authors. One is Arundhati Roy. What did you understand about Arundhati Roy? Please tell me. In the chat section, please tell me what you understood about Arundhati Roy. Whatever you understood, you tell me. What did you understand about Arundhati Roy? Leftist, okay. Whatever is there in your notes talks about subaltern subjects, criticizes things. Her center stories are around Maoism, nuclear. No, you criticize nuclear science, or you criticize India's nuclear policy. First woman to get Booker Prize. Yes. Okay. All right. Now, what do you know about Salman Rushdie? What do you know about Salman Rushdie? Yes. Political fiction, magical realism, British Indian. So he takes up Indian political activities and he writes things. Okay. Midnight Children, Booker Prize, Booker, Book of the Booker, or Booker of the Bookers also, right? Okay, so two authors are done. Good, two authors are done. Now, the next author that I'm talking about to you, the third author that we are looking at here is Vikram Seth. Okay, so third author that we are talking about is Vikram Seth. Vikram Seth is a novelist. Okay, so Vikram Seth is a novelist. He writes novels where he writes in a strict prose novels, etc., prose based novels, etc. Okay, and this guy, he builds in, he is more of a, he is more of a realist kind of a personality. He does not add much of fiction or much of fictions, etc. His stories are more around realistic kind of a things. Okay, he talks more of realistic things, and he draws his studies across countries, India, England, China, etc. He draws his stories from everywhere. Okay, and he tries to keep his stories in a very pinpointed, in a very precise manner, and there is a lot of emotional depth in his writings also. Okay, so he has a classical style of writing, there is good amount of emotional depth in his works. So this is Vikram Seth for you. Okay, yes, Vikram Seth first major work is A Suitable Boy. First major work of Vikram Seth, it is A Suitable Boy. Okay, this guy got multiple awards. For example, he got Commonwealth. He got an award of Commonwealth Writers Prize for this book. Okay, Commonwealth Writer Prize. This is one award he got for this book. Then this guy also got W.H. Smith Literary Award. Okay, so if you know Vikram Seth, one mandatory book that you need to know, that you need to understand is, it is The Suitable Boy. So Suitable Boy, basically, see, Suitable Boy, the name itself says you are suitable person or a boy. So there is a lady name is Rupa Mehra, and Rupa Mehra is searching for a suitable husband for her daughter. Rupa Mehra has a daughter, and this lady is searching for a suitable boy for her daughter, where they start talking about, I mean, in the story of searching for the daughter. Okay, the lady talks, or the novel talks about India's first general elections, overall society, aftermath of partition, these kind of things. So this story or this book was set or centered around early 1950s of India. Okay, so early 1950s, through the story of a mother searching for a husband, or for searching for a boy for her daughter, the novelist explains the story of India, Hindu-Muslim tensions, land reforms, what happened after partition. So it's a wide social panorama, it's a wide social story of what is happening around. Okay, so this is A Suitable Boy. The next is Golden Gate. Okay, the next is a Golden Gate. So Golden Gate is basically, it's a composition of 600 Onegin sonnets. Okay, I'll tell you what Onegin sonnet is. Before that, in English papers of 2025, there is one specific thing that I want to bring to your notice. They're asking you the style of writings also. Okay, for example, if you take an Onegin is a very strict 14-line rhyme. It's a 14-line rhyme form. They're asking you the types of poetries as well in 2025 under English papers, not in GS. Under English, they're asking you what is the style of poetry. Japanese style of poetry, 14 strict style, couplets, what do you call them? So they are asking you that kind of technical strict form of writings, etc. The literature part they have asked in 2025. They may not ask, but now that there is an opportunity to talk to about Vikram Seth, I have used the word. Okay, so Vikram Seth usually is a kind of person who restricts himself to these strict forms of writing. So Golden Gate is a composition of 600 Onegin sonnets, where Onegin is 14 lines strict form of a rhyme. So 614 line rhymes he has composed with them. Okay, so this is set in San Francisco. This is set in the backdrop of USA, where it talks about the stories of their professionals. Okay, software professionals, their relationships, careers, etc., etc. If you read it, you will feel like as if you are reading about the life story of today Hyderabadians or today Bangaloreans or Gurgaon people, etc. It's a similar kind of a story. It is Golden Gate. Golden Gate is about the beautiful opportunity that city of San Francisco is giving to the young professionals. You're coming through the gate and you're exploring your life, your relationships. Okay, you're exploring your life, your relationships, your careers, how you're searching for human. So you're looking through that golden gate. Okay, that is Golden Gate. Okay, you can link it that way and you can remember it. This is Golden Gate. The next book that I'm talking about here is From Heaven Lake. This is also asked in PYQs. Travel through Xinjiang and Tibet. Okay, Xinjiang is a province of China. Xinjiang is a province of China. Xinjiang to Tibet. Xinjiang is closer to Indo-Tibetan borders. That's the region of China. So this book is simple. So this is his story. His a travel story. Vikram Seth is also a very good traveler. So you can say From Heaven's Lake, travel through Xinjiang to Tibet. This is more of a travelogue. This is his story of his travel from China back to India through Xinjiang through Tibet. He starts in China and then he travels to Xinjiang and then he comes to Tibet and from there he travels to India. So this is his own travel story. China to Xinjiang to Tibet to India. This is his own travel story. So he talks about landscapes, he talks about politics, he talks about people, he talks about everything, right? So this is Vikram Seth for you. So Vikram Seth, to talk about the author's profile, Vikram Seth, this guy restricts to strict forms of writing, strict theoretical forms of writing, and he writes about travel memoirs. He talks about travel memoirs, more realistic in nature, more realistic style of author. Important books. Number one, Suitable Boy. Book number one is Suitable Boy. So this book has got two different awards. Okay, one is Commonwealth Award. One is Commonwealth Award. Next is W.H. Smith Literary Award. First book. Second book that we are talking about is Golden Gate. Second book is Golden Gate. Now third book is From Heaven Lake. Okay, Heaven Lake is more of a travel memoir. So this is a summary of Vikram Seth. Once you complete the notes, this is how you can write it. Okay, this is how you prepare a notes. Okay, so this is about Suitable Boy and Vikram Seth all in all. Yes, W.H. Smith Literary Award. Right. Okay. Alright. Clear? Vikram Seth is good. If Vikram Seth is good, we will proceed towards the next author. Shall we proceed towards the next author? Yes, it's a British Indian writer. Next important author that we are looking at. Next author that we are looking at is Shashi Tharoor. The next author that we are looking at is Shashi Tharoor. Okay, so Shashi Tharoor, he is an Indian diplomat. He is known for tongue-twisted English. Okay, Shashi Tharoor is known for difficult English. He is an Indian diplomat, Indian politician. He criticizes the real problems or real issues of India. He is a very balanced and a very interesting writer. Okay, he's a very interesting and balanced writer. I read his book Pax Indica and I read his book Era of Darkness also. The writing is very good. He, usually Shashi Tharoor does not take any kind of extreme sides. Okay, so Shashi Tharoor is a very interesting writer. He is a modern day writer. First book that you need to know is An Era of Darkness. Okay, so An Era of Darkness, the British Empire in India. So basically, there is a very famous Oxford Union speech of Shashi Tharoor. This speech became very viral. Okay, so the speech became very viral. That's a story. That's where he talks about how British has actually extracted India, how British did economic extraction in India, how deindustrialization happened. He talks about how basically British exploited India and how much British owes to India. So that's a famous speech that happened in 2015. The speech went viral. So after that, he wrote this book expanding the story. Okay, he wrote this book expanding the story, and this is the Era of Darkness. First thing. Second work is Why I Am a Hindu. Second work is Why I Am a Hindu. Second work is an interesting book. This really is an interesting book. Okay, so without I want to give a disclaimer that I'm being very neutral. In India, religion is definitely politicized, and there is certain amount of Hindutva nationalism that is there in India. But Hinduism is a very pluralistic religion. I am a proud Hindu, but I do agree that Hinduism is also politicized in India. Okay, I don't want to stoke any political feathers or any nonsensical ruffles in this class, right? So Why I'm a Hindu is a very interesting book. This book talks about what is the beauty of Hinduism, what is the openness. See, Hinduism is that one religion where Hinduism itself gives you a philosophy to let you believe that God does not exist. This kind of openness you don't find in any other goddamn religion in the world. But Hinduism will tell you there are multiple vadas within Hinduism itself which says that God is not there, human itself is God. Aham Brahmasmi concept is also given by Hinduism. So the book Why I Am a Hindu talks about how Hinduism is pluralistic in nature. And that book criticizes the politicized version of Hindutva nationalism. Okay, so this is a book that is Why I Am a Hindu. Then this book is also important. He also wrote another book that is Pax Indica. Pax Indica is more of a, Pax Indica is more of a foreign policy related book. Okay, so Pax Indica is more of a foreign policy related book. Okay, then there is one more book that is Great Indian Novel. The Great Indian Novel. The Great Indian Novel, this is a satire of 20th century political history, which takes the characters of Mahabharata. Okay, so it takes the characteristics of Mahabharata and it says that, it criticizes or it talks about how people acted in a manner as if they are not seeing anything. Okay, for example, it compares the book, it compares Nehru to Dhritarashtra, and it compares Gandhi to Bhishma. Okay, so everybody did their mistakes in Mahabharata. Mahabharata is a different story for us to talk. It's a very interesting story. But every character in Mahabharata did their own set of mistakes. Okay, so they did their own set of mistakes. So it talks about how these characteristics, these characters, top characters, did their mistakes and how it's a satirical story. It tells India's political history in a satirical manner. Okay, so this is Great Indian Novel. Yes, it talks about Paradoxical Prime Minister, which talks about the political assessment of Narendra Modi. It criticizes as in, what about Modi as in? Please tell me your question. The next question is Paradoxical Prime Minister. Paradoxical Prime Minister is a work that critically assesses, or it you know, it is a satire. It assesses is about Modi's political tenure. Okay, then there is Ambedkar Alive. This is also written by Ambedkar Alive. This is also written by Shashi Tharoor, which talks about the biography of B.R. Ambedkar. Okay, so this is about Shashi Tharoor, and then he also writes about the Hindu way. The Hindu way is the next version of Why I Am a Hindu. Right, so these are various books of Shashi Tharoor. Shashi Tharoor is no doubt an interesting author, and he's a very good statesman. One thing that I like in Shashi Tharoor is he knows when to criticize the government and when to support the government. On matters of international importance and foreign policy, he never criticizes the government of the day. But on domestic policies, he doesn't hesitate to criticize what is necessary. So that's one thing that I personally like in Shashi Tharoor. Okay, so Shashi Tharoor is clear. Shashi Tharoor is clear. क्या हो गया? It's all very silent today. I thought topics like this you will start talking more because you might be knowing about authors and all. You will share your views and your thoughts also. But you are completely quiet today. Sahil, what is the question? What about Modi ji? I thought you will be participating actively in today's class. But today you guys are very quiet. Yes तो है भाई. ठीक है. Okay. So I am going for the next author. The heavy authors are almost done. We are going to next author. The next author is Aravind Adiga. Where can we find uploaded content in the app? In the app, there is a specific part which is called a static GK notes. Okay, in the store, you have static GK notes. Then there is a combo where you have notes and test series. There you can find it. Shashi, Vikram Sheth, Salman Rushdie, Arundhati Roy. We are done with these people. Okay, now we are coming towards Aravind Adiga. Aravind Adiga, this guy's majority of the works are around class and inequality criticism. He criticizes class and inequality. India is a society where, where it is ridden with the caste problems, class issues, and there are a lot of inequalities, etc. that is there in India. Okay. And Aravind Adiga says, India remained poor because in a way, Indians internalized loyalty, internalized fear. So the class structure that is there in India, class 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, this kind of class differential structure that is there in India, what Aravind Adiga argues is, India remained poor because people at multiple classes have internalized loyalty. They have internalized loyalty, they have internalized fear, and because of this, India does not develop. This is the story of the book that is White Tiger. Okay, so White Tiger, it narrates, it talks about the story of a person who starts as a servant and he comes up into a businessman, but this guy is a compromised businessman. He murders his own employer. So he talks about he's a compromised guy, compromised businessman. So in the story, he tries to say that India is poor because it is not because of force, it is because we have loyalty and fear which are internalized. So this is the story of White Tiger, right? And this book, The White Tiger, this got Man Booker Prize. This story, this received the award of Man Booker Prize. Okay, this is one thing. Then along with this, the other book is, there is one more book which is called as Last Man in the Tower. Last Man in tower. Last man in tower. This story happens in Mumbai. There is an old housing society that is there. There is a developer. Developer wants to demolish the building. He wants to go for a luxury project. Everybody agrees, but there is a one teacher who says he says I am not okay with this. Okay, there is one old guy, one retired guy. He says no, I am not okay to demolish the society. So till that before day, all the society members are his friends, but everybody starts acting against him over greed, etc., etc. They put down the friendship. They forget that that guy is a friend, and they start acting against it. So this is a reality, class reality, inequality reality, passion for people to grow, to come out of their inequalities, and how they forget the fundamental values of life. So just a second. Yeah, in the name of growth, how they forget the fundamental values of life. All this is around the story of the last man in tower. Okay, so this is about Arvind Adiga. Then he also wrote Between the Assassinations, and then he writes a book which is Selection Day, where it is about cricket. Then he writes Amnesty. These are various writings of Arvind Adiga. Okay, clear? Arvind Adiga is clear, I hope. Okay. In Great Indian Novel, Yudhishthir is Morarji Desai, Bhim is Indian Army. Okay, I did not read the book. Alright. Okay. The next author that we are talking about is Amartya Sen. The next author, do you believe that the caste system and discrimination in India restricts the development of India? Yes, I strongly believe it. I strongly believe that caste system in India and discrimination restricts the development of India. I strongly believe in that. I really wish one day India becomes a egalitarian society. See, caste discrimination is twofold, okay? Okay, now that the topic has come, I will share my views on this, definitely. Because we are all citizens of India who are aspiring to become, or we are all aspiring to become the learned citizens of India. I'll share my thoughts on this as well. I strongly believe that caste is a deep-rooted evil that is there within the society. And I don't agree with the Gandhian approach that caste is a part and parcel of society and politics cannot be there, cannot be done without caste or without religion. Gandhi believes that politics and religion are inseparable. I don't agree with that view. Okay. And I believe that casteism is being exploited by the political society. But for example, if you take up reservations in itself are being used by the same sections of the society who are utilizing it. For example, let us say you take the reservation of ST. Okay, I'll give you an example from my own friend's personal life. I have two different friends. One person is from a tribal remote background. He is the first guy to study in his family, and he is the first engineer of his tribal hamlet. This is the first guy. Second guy, he is the third generation person who is studying. He is also from ST community. His father is the principal of government junior college. Okay. Now ST reservation, when it comes to ST reservation, the second guy I told you, his elder brother is, he utilized the reservation. He utilized the reservation, he became a doctor. In MBBS, he utilized the reservation. In PG, he utilized the reservation and he became a doctor. His second son, or my friend, utilized the reservation and then he used it in his BTech, he used it in his MTech, he used it for his job. Okay. And their family is completely well off. He and we studied in the same school. Okay, my rank in state's engineering entrance examination is 1500. That guy's rank is 20,000. I could not secure a seat in university. That guy secured a seat in university. So ideally, this friend B that I told you, he should not be given reservation. Whereas a friend A that I told you, I met him in my engineering college. He is my best friend of my engineering college. He is also an ST candidate. His rank in engineering is, it goes into some 50, 60,000 something. I don't remember the rank, it does not matter. But because of that ST reservation, he came up, he studied in the college, he completed his BTech, then he went to Infosys, he's worked there. Now he conducts workshops, he's a part of a society that works with the, with a group. I mean, there is a department, tribal welfare department. He works with the department, he conducts seminars, etc., etc. So point is, reservation in itself also became a double-edged sword. Those sections of the society that are getting benefited with the reservation, they are constantly getting benefited, and those sections that are not getting benefited, they are remaining backward. So caste in itself is very exploitative in nature, and within the caste also there are inequalities that are there. So in the caste and inequalities of India, no doubt are, they're a problem to Indian society. Okay, so this is my personal opinion. And should reservations be abolished? No, not completely. Reservation has to be rationalized. Reservation has to be rationalized. Okay, I keep telling that I'm from UR category, and I openly agree that EWS is a reservation which is exploited the maximum. There are so many people who come up with the fake EWS reservation certificates, and the whole purpose of EWS reservation is being, negated. So yes, it will be better if we can come up with a real policy, a rationalized policy, which can talk about how you can bring in reservations, how you can bring in, rationalized form of reservation. But definitely the current policies that are there in India are definitely skewed. There is no doubt about it. And as far as Hindutva politicization is concerned, yes, there are people who do, the political parties of India, no doubt they are doing politicization of Hindutva also. Okay, I have certain, I have my personal opinions which are even against the current ruling government as well. Okay, I am a strong Hindu. I believe that in India is not just for Hindus. The fundamental policy of Hinduism lies in pluralism. It is in accepting everybody, live and let live. But I don't agree with the fact that a religion should be taken for a ride and any other religion should be allowed to do any kind of things which harm everybody in the society. Okay, yeah, this is all about these kind of things. If we start talking about it, the class will continue, but let's come back. Yes, right. Let us come back to the class. Enough of my personal stories and my personal talk. Let's come back. Okay. We can have an open forum discussion one fine day where we can talk about political ideologies. You can read any of these novels that we are talking about here. Okay. Yes, that's the case. There are people who have a lot of money, everything, still they get this EWS certificate, and unfortunately EWS cutoff is less than OBC cutoff. EWS cutoff is much lesser than OBC cutoff, much lesser as in 3 marks, 4 marks, 1, 2 marks also. Yeah, let's come back to the class. Yes. So we are talking about Amartya Sen. Okay, so Amartya Sen is an economist. Amartya Sen is an economist. Amartya Sen is known for capability approach. Amartya Sen's writings are known for capability approach of study. Okay, capability approach. Amartya Sen believes that development of a person or poverty of a personality, any such thing, it is dependent upon individual's capability. If a person is more capable, then individuals will strive their best to come out of their personality or to come out of their poverty, etc. He is an economist. He talks in economic centric. He talks about human welfare, poverty, development, etc., etc. And he says development or poverty alleviation, all these things are dependent upon individual's personality. His approach is called as capability approach. Here itself I will tell you there is one more economist who is Ricardo. Ricardo talks about comparative advantage theory. This we studied in economics already. Coming back to Amartya Sen. And Amartya Sen is a Nobel laureate. He won Nobel Prize. He is a Nobel laureate. And his works are Argumentative Indian. Argumentative Indian. This is one notable important book. So this talks that India has a beautiful practice. India has an unappreciated, India has a beautiful practice, that is argumentation, discussion, deliberation. So he says that this is a beautiful spirit of India. Indians argue, openness or a freedom of speech is there in India. He says right from Ashoka's period, Akbar's period, Tagore, all these people, arguments of Indians have shaped India's democratic character. This is argumentative Indian. So he says that Indians are argumentative in nature, which is very good. So first book is Argumentative Indian. Second book is Development as a Freedom. Development as a Freedom. Okay, so this is a second book. This book says that if you want to have development, okay, developmental activity of a country, you should measure it based on health. You may measure it based on education. You measure it based on political participation of people. Okay, it's not just GDP. GDP alone will not give you the developmental picture. If you want to understand the development of a country, you should understand, you should measure it with the help of healthcare, education, political participation, etc. This is about this is development as a freedom. And Amartya Sen, he won Bharat Ratna, and he also won Nobel Prize. Okay, Nobel Prize, he won Nobel Prize on welfare economics. Okay, he won it on economics, not on literature. No Booker Prize, no Sahitya Academy Award, nothing. He won Nobel Prize in economics. Okay, and there are other works also. For example, he wrote Poverty and Famine, and he wrote various other books. So this is Amartya Sen. Now we will talk about Rabindranath Tagore. Okay, Rabindranath Tagore, the first thing, Rabindranath. Okay, Tagore, the first thing that comes to our mind is, the first book that comes to our mind is Gitanjali. For Gitanjali, he won Nobel Prize, and he is the first Indian, first Asian, first non-European to get Nobel Prize in literature. He's the first Indian, first Asian, first non-European to get a Nobel Prize in literature. Gitanjali is a collection of poems. It's a collection of devotional poems which talks about the relationship between soul and God. Okay, so it's initially it was written in Bengali, then it was translated into English. Right, he translated it by himself. This is Gitanjali. Then he also wrote one very famous book which you might have studied in your childhood also. That is Kabuliwala. Kabuliwala, you might have read this book in yours, or you might have read this as a short story, especially if you are from West Bengal region. This could have been in your academics. Okay, so this is a short story. This is a bond between a small kid, a Bengali kid, okay, and a Afghanistan based dry fruit seller. Okay, I read this in my childhood. You might also have read this book in your childhood as a part of your academic studies. So this is Rabindranath Tagore. One is Gitanjali. Gitanjali is important. Then Kabuliwala is also important. Then he is the composer of Janaganamana. He is the composer of Janaganamana. He is also the composer of Amar Shonar Bangla. Right? He is the only person who wrote in the entire world. He is the only person who wrote the national anthem of two different countries, and he is the founder of Vishwabharati University, and he is a painter as well. This is Rabindranath Tagore. Next personality that we have to talk here is, the next personality is Khushwant Singh. Khushwant Singh. Next personality is Kushwant Singh. Okay, Kushwant Singh. One very very famous book is Train to Pakistan. Train to Pakistan. This is a very famous book, very interesting book. I read this book personally, and we are including. See, we are about to take a next batch of Brahmos, and in the next batch of Brahmos, we are including some of these famous books as a part of reading exercises, of which we are including Train to Pakistan. So, Train to Pakistan is a beautiful book. It's basically, it is set in a Punjab border village. It's a fictitious village where originally Sikhs and Muslims, all these people are coexisting together. Slowly, there is a train that comes silently, and that train brings in bodies of Sikh people. Once the train comes, the peace of village is shattered. So this story talks about the difficulties of partition, the aftermath of partition, massacre, what went on humans, etc. This is the book that is Train to Pakistan. The life of how life in common man's small villages changed because of Pakistan's partition, or India's partition, sorry. So that is the book that is Train to Pakistan. It's an important book. Okay, there is no literary award that is associated with this book. Okay, this guy got Padma Bhushan initially, then he returned it. That's a different story. So this is Kushwant Singh. His stories are centered around Sikh community, Sikh people. He also wrote a book that is History of Sikhs also. He wrote a book, History of Sikh. Then the other writers, the other pair, duo writers that we are looking at is Banu Mushtaq. Banu Mushtaq and a translator Deepa Bhasti. Banu Mushtaq is a Kannada writer, and Deepa Bhasti translates these things into English. Deepa is a translator. Okay, and Banu Mushtaq's writing, this is in current affairs. This writing is Heart Lamp. Okay, this won Booker Prize in 2025. It's a first Kannada literature. First Kannada work to win International Booker Prize in 2025. Yes, Heart Lamp International Booker Prize of 2025. It's from own Mushtaq's life. Mushtaq's life, how legal work, lawyer's life, all these things. It is centered around women's day-to-day life, especially around the Muslims of South India. Okay, this is Heart Lamp. This is important. Next author that is important is Jhumpa Lahari. Jhumpa Lahari is also important. Jhumpa Lahari was asked multiple times in the exams. Jhumpa Lahari, the famous book is Interpreter of Melodies. This book is known for Pulitzer Prize. Okay, this was written in, this award was given in 2000. Namesake is also correct. Namesake is also her own novel. Interpreter of Melodies, it's a collection of 9 short stories. Okay, there are Indian American characters. The 2 different cultures are there, Indian cultures and American cultures. It talks about how marriages happen, cultures of marriage, right? All these stories are there. Interpreter of Melodies. This book received Pulitzer Prize. Then you also have the Namesake, then you have the Lowland, and In Other Words, etc., right? So these are important authors, most important authors. Now, along with these authors, in your notes, just there, let me pick up your notes that is there. Yeah, so we spoke till here the most important authors. We spoke of Vikram Seth, we spoke of Shashi Tharoor, we spoke of Arvind Adiga, Amartya Sen, Ravindranath Tagore, Kushwant Singh, Banu Mushtaq, and Jhumpa Lahari. After this, there are certain second tier authors. From V.S. Naipaul onwards, you take a look at the work, that is enough. And the Booker Prize work. Whatever work is there, the Booker Prize work that is there, or Nobel Prize, then you just look at the names of the books. This is enough. R.K. Narayan is very famous. R.K. Narayan is known for Swami and Friends. There are multiple TV shows that are there on this. Malgudi Days, this is also important, right? So there are a couple of other authors also. Amitav Ghosh, they can ask you questions on Amitav Ghosh. Just take a look at the words. And Gnanpith Award, this is necessary in Amitav Ghosh, right? Just take a look at it. So this is the notes. Then in second tier authors, where the names were asked only 2 times, for these authors, just author book, okay, award, author book, this is enough. Second tier authors are those authors whose names were asked only twice, and at the end there are certain Nobel laureates, small revision list. You can revise from this list. This notes will be posted to your course with immediate effect. Okay, in the next 1 hour we will post it. How do you remember it? Okay, the way to remember is simple. You have to first reading, don't try to remember anything. Today when you are reading it for the first time, do not remember anything. Read it, understand it. For the first 2, 3, 4 readings, don't remember anything. After that, for every author, you prepare 1 or 2 anchor words. You identify 1 or 2 authors with 1 or 2 anchor words, then you revise the list of the books multiple times, you will be able to understand. And in the next 1 hour, in the next 10 to 15 minutes, that is by 10:30 a.m., we will post a video on how to score 110, on how to improve your score from 110 score range to 140. Last night I recorded that video in the same frame. Okay, there is no much of edit, etc, etc. It's a communication. Last night I've recorded it at around 3 o'clock last night. Okay, there were multiple times that video was recorded. Somehow media guy did not connect to the mic. That day, when a lot of things happened, so I felt like I wanted to do a communication. So I recorded the video in the same frame where I simply turned on the camera and I shared my thoughts on how do you improve your score from 110 to 140. So in that video, I spoke to you about, I spoke to you about active recall exercises, how you do your revision, etc. So watch the video, you will have an understanding on how you can revise, and do hype the video. That will help me a lot as well. Yeah, please tell me, Sahil. Sahil, please tell me. Sushmita, are you still there? I've seen your messages a lot. You tried to come up with a lot of questions. All your questions are genuine. I do agree that your questions are valid. Okay, if you're there, please don't worry. You'll get your content. Geography, I have given you one introduction class. I will post you the rest of the classes also. Astra static, no, you have to attend the PYQ marathons also. Okay, we are gonna do PYQ marathons. Please do them. According to you, what will be the level of mathematics? Okay, that also I covered in today's video. I covered in detail in today's video, but I'll give you one answer. Let's say this is your 100% of the question paper. Okay, 70% of the paper will be easy to moderate. This I am talking to you based on CPO papers. CPO papers, the papers are still doable and easy to moderate. Definitely 70% of your papers will be easy to moderate. Don't worry. There will be a difference between CHSL and CGL paper level, no doubt. But 70% of paper will be easy to moderate. And you will be able to solve a minimum of 18 to 19 questions in 15 minutes. Don't try for 25 out of 25 questions and end up solving 13 only. No, don't do this. Array, okay. Yeah, I understood. I understood that the screen is not shared. Yes. Corrected it. So 70% of your paper will be easy to moderate only. Okay. You focus on easy moderate questions, you can do well. Yes, 2025 pattern will repeat. 2025 patterns will repeat. So you can do mathematics. Take a look at CPO papers, you will understand. Yes, that's what I'm telling. Paper will be easy to moderate. CPO say it will be slightly higher level. Okay. So let's say if I'm putting CGL here, slightly below will be CPO. After a good amount of gap, you will have CHSL. You can have your paper like this. So you can say on a scale of 1 to 10, if CPO paper is at a scale of 5.5, CGL papers you expect at around 6.75. This is how you can expect. And you can do mathematics. Don't think of percentiles on these olive board, etc., etc. Okay, they are rigging those papers a lot. Don't worry about percentile, just look at scores. All these testing platforms, they are rigging these tests a lot. Okay, calculations, you can do calculations easily just by practice. I can't talk about cutoff, it is too early to talk about cutoff, especially exam date is not there. Rigging as in they're using their screenshots, increasing their scores. Yeah, see, how do you expect people to score 180s, 190s in on the live test and all here? It's not practically possible. How do I expect them to score 180, 190 on all those live tests? No, it's not necessary to focus on all the folk dances. Yeah, I would say go for a safe raw score of 145 plus. Aim for this. Aim for this. No, it is not possible to score 15 GS. If someone is scoring, definitely they are doing something wrong. It is not at all possible. It is not at all possible to score 50 out of 15 GS. No, it's not possible. I don't agree with it that 50 out of 50 is possible. Yes, GS 1.0 and Brahmos, I have to start with geography. I will post the content, okay? I will post the content. I will complete geography before your exam. Before tier 1, I will definitely complete geography. Okay, so this is all for today. See you all tomorrow in the practice session of books and authors. Thank you. Census notes is posted in Astra already, right? साहिल बोलो भाई, मैं हूं इधर, कहाँ गया नहीं. Census notes is posted in Astra already. I did not understand, Atul. The old students, we gave you lifetime access. Malli Kaluddam Pratap. Yeah, majority of those top results on the test platforms, they are not real. So you just take care of your own scores. See, if you are already scoring 160s in PYQs, then you can shift to olive board, textbook, etc. As long as you are not scoring 150s in PYQs, stick to PYQs. You write 24 PYQs, you write 2023 PYQs of hard shifts. Okay, just pick up something like Rank Mitra, you'll understand what are the hard shifts. So write hard shifts of older PYQs. Once you are stably scoring 150s, 160s, then you write the other mocks. Okay. Yes. All right. So thank you. See you all tomorrow. Bye bye.